Morally Corrupt, a show here on the Ringer Reality feed. I'm Rachel Lindsay. She's Callie Curry. We're hitting the valley. We're hitting Summer House Reunion Part 2. And per usual, we've been podcasting for about 20 minutes before we hopped on. So we're ready to go. We're having a little wine. We're doing it on a Thursday evening. So we're easing into this. And I'm hoping that I don't have the same rant that I had earlier this week. I would like to think that I've calmed down a little bit. So I would like to think my sister literally texted me and said, Are you okay? Are you not talking to Willie anymore? She goes, are y'all not talking? And I go, yeah, we are. I just am on my period and reading a book about the patriarchy. And
that's a horrible mix.
And it was kept getting all these messages about stuff. It was just a lot going on all at once. You know, I think I scared Chelsea. So I'm going to try not to do the same thing to you, Callie, or you guys listening to this right now. But let's hop into the Valley first.
Okay.
We don't recap the Valley together. So this is actually quite a treat. Jody's
Brand
not
new.
here. I just realized this. Okay, but you've obviously been keeping up because there is no reality show that Callie does not watch. And we always say this. We're like, she even watches Farmer Wants a Wife. So Callie makes room for everything. So dumb question of me to ask, are you watching The Valley? Of course you are. Can I just tell you this? I meant to announce this
Absolutely
on Monday,
watching.
but I forgot. I meant to announce this on Monday and I forgot, but I finished Southern Hospitality. I am fully caught up now on Southern Hospitality. Good one. And I like it. I was anti getting back really into it. Like it. So now we can recap that when that comes because I'm watching it. All right.
I didn't want to like that show either. I didn't want to like The Valley. And both shows are really good.
I know. I like in The Valley this episode that we really start off wild with the beach. We had been teased about Jasmine going off on, almost said Karen, on Janet. And I thought we had been teased it in the trailer for this whole season, but I thought we would get that at the end of the episode. We literally got that in the first 10 minutes. And this was a really frustrating thing for me to watch because I feel like Jasmine doesn't communicate herself well. And so what she's trying to say always gets lost in translation. And it didn't help that Janet was interjecting. And I feel like if it was just Jasmine and Jason, they would have been able to handle the situation. But the presence of Janet alone infuriated Jasmine to where I feel like she couldn't vocalize what it is that she was feeling. Because when they left, it was very clear. Jasmine's not the one who brought it up. The information didn't come from Jasmine. She was saying she heard this years ago. She wasn't being messy. This is all old information that is being brought up. And she doesn't even believe the rumor. But Jason never got to hear that part of it because it was chaotic. Great TV, bad for their friendship.
I feel like we're not going to agree on this because you and Jasmine have a relationship. I like Jasmine overall. Love her for the show. But I am so unclear how you spread a rumor. Doesn't matter if you heard it and don't believe it. You still repeated it randomly about another couple's marriage. Half of that couple you actually really like. I think her and Jason are super close and like each other a lot. And you're offended on the beach? I'm so confused how she went. I get it. Janet's annoying. Her chirping would annoy me too. But at the end of the day, they have a right to be upset in this moment. And you don't really?
Okay. It is my understanding that Jasmine told this to Kristen years ago. In watching it, I felt like Kristen has known this. And Kristen brought it up because she is kind of like I don't like Janet. You don't know what I know. And this is what I know. That was the way I interpreted it. So that's why I'm Team Jasmine on this, not just because I know her and she's a friend, also because it seems like this is something she and Kristen were talking about a while back, and Kristen is just now throwing it in her face. And it would have been more clear if Jasmine had a little frustrated with Kristen, and why are you bringing up this now? But the reason Jasmine wasn't is because she can't stand Janet either. And I just think she underestimated how much it was going to affect Jason. And all I kept thinking is, Jason is too pure for this. Jason doesn't belong here. When Jasmine shouts, we all talk about each other. That's what we do. And Jason goes, I don't. And I'm like, and you don't belong here. You're just tethered
100%.
to Janet. You're tethered to Janet, who is problematic, whose hands aren't unclean. Which is why when Brittany's like, I don't understand why everybody has a problem with Janet. I never see that side of Janet. And I'm like, well, we do. We do. You also didn't see that side of Jax. So
I know. Poor baby. Janet, I don't know if problematic is like the word. She's kind of, the word I'm about to use is worse, but like, I don't even know if this is the right word. She's just kind of like a little bit insufferable.
100%. No, that is the
I don't know another
word. She's having better moments this season. And I feel like because she watched herself last season, so she's a little bit more calculated. Like she had to like regroup. Like, okay,
wait,
this is
you
how I need to handle
heard
it.
The like Reddit tea on Janet, right?
About how she wanted to be on the show and she befriended Sheena and all these people years ago.
I mean, moved to California. Befriended Sheena.
I'm not. You know why I'm not mad at it? Because that is manifestation coming to life, which I'm
hard work.
That is a long game. If you put 10 years into this before you ever got a camera in front of you, you deserve it. It's like a groupie. If you're gonna put 10 years into the relationship and the man, and you're gonna be the last one standing, you deserve this man. Not the deep sigh.
Well, I mean, I guess she deserves it. She's put in a lot of hard work. You use the word calculated. That she is. I guess the reason why I give Janet a little bit of a pass is because I like Jason a lot.
We love him.
He's like my favorite. He's the person on the show I could probably be friends with. I could probably be friends with Jasmine too. I didn't love this performance from her in this episode, but Jasmine and her fiance, are they engaged?
Yeah, they're engaged.
Yeah. Jasmine and her fiance, they seem like pretty easy people to be friends with. And I really like Jason. I just think Jason, to your point, is too normal for reality TV.
And he so loves his wife as he should, and he's 10 toes down for her, that he can't even see that she's like these folks. Okay? You might not be, but sorry. Janet, too many J's. Janet is like them. And it's funny to me how Janet capitalizes on the pureness of Jason and it's like, let's get out of here. And as she's talking to him as if she is like him as well. And she's absolutely not. Like, no, Janet, you are like the people you left. You're leaving with Jason. You are not like Jason.
I'm wondering if she is like Jason, but she knows, like, she came all this way to be on a reality television show.
Then she's not like Jason. He would never do this.
He studied these people. She has studied what works, what doesn't work. So she acts like them on the show. But I'm wondering if Jason gets a different version of her.
Yeah. I think he does. I do think he does, but you're filming with you. This is your second season now filming with her. You've seen how she is. But whatever, he loves her, and I do love that. But yeah, Janet is not different. If anything, she's a ringleader for the drama. Another thing I did not like about the beach, it was something deeply disturbing that Brittany said. Brittany said they were talking about the way Brittany looked, and they were like, "Oh, Brittany, you look really cute." And she was like, "Well, yeah, I got a date. I got to go to a date after this." And I thought, sitting outside all day in the sand. Sandy, we all know sand sticks to you. You can't get it off for days. So you smell like outside. That is a real thing for people who don't know.
100,000,000% she smells like outside.
You smell like outside. And
you
you're
smell
sandy.
like outside if you walk to the mailbox and back. You absolutely smell like outside if you spend the day at the beach with a dress on.
Thank you. And with the wind. And for the people who are like, well, maybe because she said she was going to meet him at home and she was going to clean up. No, she said she looked the way she did. She had she had makeup on because she had a date after. And I thought, gross. Disgusting. Unless they're going to be in the pool.
I didn't think about that.
I did immediately.
I did not think about that. But now that you bring it to my attention, that's disgusting.
It's so gross. I would like to think that that's not what she meant and she really went to go home to bathe, but we don't know.
You know
what?
We
don't know.
I'm going to give her a pass. She's going through a very hard time. And at the end of the day, I just want Brittany out of her situation, there was a rumor earlier this week that Brittany is in a new relationship. Did you see that?
I thought that was tied to that. Chelsea and I kind of talked about that. I think it was Chelsea. I thought that was tied to the ad that she did with the gym. And
oh, really?
And yeah, there was something that the way it was written, I don't know. I thought it was. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. If she is, good for her. We only want the best for Brittany and we want to see her move on. Because even watching
100%.
What she had to deal with in this episode with
He's
Jax.
Insane. And we are
He's
just
a true narcissist.
Watching abuse. Like you are financially abusing her.
He is a true narcissist.
Textbook. I don't understand how all her friends are just sitting by. I mean, I know they're like trying to help her, but like, Jesus Christ, Jax.
It was really, really hard to watch. And there was a moment where when he texts Brittany that he could hear what she was saying. And she's like, wait, does he have, has he planted hearing devices? And she's laughing about it. At first I was like, why the fuck is Brittany laughing? And then I thought to myself, she's probably manic herself and like, I don't even know what to do at this point. This man is supposed to be in rehab. He seems to be terrorizing her even more from this alleged rehab than when his presence is there. He's telling her he can hear what she's saying. It's like he knew she was talking to his sister because he called his sister at the moment. He said something about like, I cannot even imagine living like that. You wonder, is the person watching you? Is the person listening? But he is confirming it without a care in the world. I mean, I don't even know how Bravo didn't feel like some type of conflict as they were filming this and watching the thing. This is harassment at this point.
Yeah. And I think they're so used to Jax acting this way that it doesn't feel as bad to them. But now that they're like actually breaking up, seeing him act the way that he's acting, I'm like, this is not okay. And I don't know what treatment center he's in, but we got to find a new one.
And what I did like is that they caught the lie. I mean, he lies all the time, but they caught the lie and the manipulation of him talking to Jason and Janet and Jason and Janet saying, wow, that's a different Jax. Wow. The last time I talked to Jax, he really wasn't that introspective and he really didn't understand. It seems to be working and he learns a lot. Him saying he was going to give the podcast to Brittany and him realizing, he pushed Brittany away. And then to hear how he was like, no, the podcast is 50-50. Oh no, you get the mortgage. I'm doing the house is in foreclosure. You're on the hook for paying. I mean, diabolical.
In the after show, did you catch those combos?
You are the exclusive reporter for the after show, and I'm grateful for your service.
I didn't watch the after show, but I saw it on TikTok. I saw the clips on TikTok. The producers also catch him lying again, where he is telling two of the guys, I want to say it's Jason and Danny, and he's talking about how he had to sign the the paperwork completely over to Brittany, and that all he had to do was get the paperwork signed and it was done. But like he did give Brittany the podcast, and then they asked Brittany, who's sitting with two of the women, and they're like, did Jax sign over the podcast? And she's like, no, we've done all of it up until the point where he signs it over. And now what he is doing is, if I don't do what he wants, he'll say he won't sign the papers. So he'll be like, everything's fine. The papers are all drafted up. They've done everything to give the podcast to her. And then he'll be like, if you don't let me see Cruz tomorrow, then I'm not signing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's actually scary. The way he wants to still have control over her, the way he's watching her, listening to her, they should be providing her security. And I don't say that lightly. I'm very serious. He seems to be outraged by her moving on. He seems to be outraged by anything that she does to completely separate herself from him. And I would be worried.
Anything that makes her more independent.
Let's not forget how we started this episode out. It was with physical violence. He did something that hit her, where her friends were scared. He only seems to be escalating, and I'm not paying attention to what's happening in present day, but as I'm watching it now, she needs, if I'm her friend, I'm worried about her security. If I'm production, I'm like, yeah, this woman needs somebody surveillancing her property, her as a person, the child, because Jax is scary and unpredictable. And the only thing that's been consistent with him is that he is a liar, he is manipulative, and he is self-serving.
And an addict.
Scary. And an addict.
I just feel like if he's all those things and an addict, like drugs, alcohol, all of it can have like a crazy effect on your mood. So to already have some of those things and then to be on coke, like all it does is exacerbate those feelings and urges and whatever. So I'm just like,
yeah,
I would be worried.
Yeah. We're always wishing the best for Brittany in the situation, that she frees herself from Jax, but in the safest way possible. A couple of other things to note. I do appreciate. Okay, so I've been very nervous about the inclusion of Scheana, Brock, and Lala into the Valley. I appreciate that Lala really seems to be taking a back seat. She's pregnant, so that might be some of it, but she doesn't seem to want to be there. She really doesn't.
I mean,
but
she
she's
walked
there.
into that party and had words for...
She did.
What's his name? Oh, my blank.
Jesse.
He had words for Jesse pretty immediately. And while I agree with what she said, I was also just like, I just really don't want to hear it from you. I don't.
Well, it was like doing it over again, you know? Like, we already heard this. We already heard the situation, and we're playing it out for you. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I'm giving Lala props is because, let me tell you what she's not doing. Have we seen Lala's new house? No.
Mm-mm.
We saw Scheana's. We now know where Scheana not only wanted to show, Scheana has shown up multiple times. She makes sure that if she is not in a conversation, she will remove wherever she is to insert herself, even if she says nothing. She has now shown us her house and hosted. When this episode started with it hosting and it's saying Scheana's house, I said, oh, Scheana is going to make sure that she interjects herself and is making a play for a show here.
I would
she
say
knows
that Brock
exactly what she's doing.
And Scheana are on the same page.
Oh,
because
for
Brock
sure.
Certainly inserted himself as well.
For sure. And did you notice Brock's attire? Can't leave without saying this. Brock was wearing a Schwartz and Sandy hat. Ah! Brock is so whack. Brock is so whack.
You know what's crazy?
I'm sure he's sweet. But you can be
say
both.
the one thing I could say about Brock, which is crazy for me to say because there's definitely a but to this. But he's an excellent dad to Summer Moon. And I think that's an amazing quality. And even Lala has said, like, Brock has stepped up for her kids. And now that I am a parent, that is the number one most attractive thing in a guy to me. Like, if I see a guy being a good dad, I'm like, oof, like, yes, like that is so attractive to me. The problem with that, though, is that Brock also has 2 children he doesn't talk to that don't live in the United States. So there is a but there. But at least he learned from that and is doing much better now.
Great point. And way to point out the positive. But he was wearing a shorts and Sandy hat. And I was like, Brock knows, and Sheena knows that they need a paycheck. That's what it is. It's just that it's trying so hard. And that's why I was giving Lala, yes, she had the conversation with Jesse. Yes, I was annoyed that we had to rehash something that we've talked about with actual people who are on the Valley. But when at the beach, she took a back seat, and I appreciated that. When I saw the hosting of Sheena, why are we... No. Sheena is making a play, and it's obvious.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. The only thing that I would say, and what we're about to talk about again, is that I think that both Lala and Sheena have realized how much being on such a popular reality show every few months, it's airing on TV once a week, helps them make money.
Of course.
And we all know from watching that reality show that Brock does not have another job. So I agree with you. They were trying really hard, but I also feel like the thirst is probably real for them.
No, it is real. But as a viewer, I can say keep them separate. I said last week, I want Lala to VPR her way out. I don't want the two together. I'm not a fan of that. I was thinking, it's funny that you mentioned the job thing. I was thinking that about Brock. I was like, when I saw him, I was like, does Brock have a job? I know he was saying that in his defense, that he wanted to work and find something, but Sheena was so paranoid about who would take care of Summer Moon that he was left a lot of the times having to take care of her, and it didn't provide him the opportunity to seek his own career. So hopefully he's able to do a little bit of that now. All right, well, that was the Valley. Always good, always great. Next week, I know will give us the same thing. Summer House. This is the last episode of Summer House, part 2 of the reunion. I knew we were getting 2 parts, but I don't know. It was a little lackluster to me. I think maybe I was expecting a little bit more of the Lexi, Jesse, because it was so much during the season that I thought we'd get a little more. But I did find it interesting in watching this because it's very clear that Jesse is not even remotely close to as fazed by what went down in their relationship as Lexi is. Jesse's like, yeah, I would hope we could be friends. Okay, cool. We're not. Great. I'm going to keep being me. I'm going to keep flirting with the other girls. I'm going to keep making jokes. It is what it is. Where Lexi really is having a tough time. I mean, she and Gabby were holding hands the entire second half of the reunion. Lexi was crying after their back and forth. I mean, Lexi really is affected by it. And it seems that she's not just affected by Jesse. I think she realizes without Jesse, she really doesn't have anyone. And I'm not trying to discredit Gabby. It's just that Gabby also doesn't have a huge presence on the show. And she more than likely is not going to be with us this coming up season. So I'm trying to find the right word for Lexi this episode. I really feel like I saw a different side of Lexi where I was understanding her in a different way. And I don't say that to give credit to Jesse, because I think we all know as of Tuesday how I feel about Jesse. It just was more revealing as to who Lexi was in the second part of this reunion.
I understand that this was like a big storyline throughout the season. They dated for 2 months. On the fuckboy scale, 10 being like the worst fuckboy in the world, Jesse's like a fucking 5. I cannot believe we've spent so much time on someone who just wasn't that bad. Like, I'm sorry. What did he do that was so awful? Also, her being like, you wanted to pin me against the girl. No, he didn't. Did he talk shit about people in the house? Pillow talk? I'm sure he did, because everyone in the fucking world comes home and talks to their partner a little bit more loose-lipped than they would anyone else. So I'm sure he did talk a little bit of shit. Do I think that he was trying to pin Lexi against them and not the other girls? I don't. I don't think that. I don't think that even benefits Jesse to do that. I think that, Lexi, you chose to want Jesse's attention more than anything else every single weekend when you walked into that house. And that's your choice. But you can't be upset with him because you made that choice. I don't know what else to tell you. It didn't work out. That sucks. He was upset that it didn't work out either. Like, you weren't the only one that was upset this didn't work out.
Yeah.
It was a 2-month fling, which is why, to your point, Jesse is acting like a normal person again. He's like, you want to be friends? No, you don't want to be friends? Okay. Do I wish I would have done things different? Yeah, I did, but I can't go back in time. Like, hope the best for you. Want no ill. Like, we're good. He's making jokes. He's flirting with people, which he has always been. So it's not like Jesse was doing anything extra. Jesse was Jesse. What we've seen this entire time. Is Jesse my favorite person on this cast? No, he's not. But you know who my least favorite person is? Lexi.
I think the point you make about her acting like she didn't have a choice, that's the revealing part to me. It's, we gave Lexi a lot of props, or at least me and Jody gave Lexi props in regards to how she was able to communicate her frustrations with Jesse, which I still stand by. And that showed a level of maturity that I wasn't quite expecting from Lexi. But this second part of the reunion shows me how immature she is. Because Jesse, I agree with you. I do not think was putting you against the women. I just think that you clung on to Jesse because you guys were enamored with each other. Mm-hmm. You guys had a lot of chemistry and you really liked each other. And that's fine. And it didn't work out. But you making it seem like Jesse stripped you from ever being able to walk into the girls' room and have a conversation. I would have rather her said, the girls didn't include me. That would have made more sense. Oh, they already had their relationship. I kind of felt like an outsider. So I clung to Jesse, and maybe I should have tried a little harder, or maybe I should have told them I felt left out. That's not what you did. You blamed the whole thing on Jesse, which doesn't make sense, which isn't true. So that's when I was like, okay, you're being a little bit bratty when it comes to this and not taking any responsibility for your part in this. I'm sure it's a mixture of both. I'm sure there were times where he was, to your point, pillow talking and saying stuff about the girls. I'm sure the girls didn't always include you because they have a closer friendship. I'm sure it was harder for you as a newcomer who came in with another newcomer who then disappeared. And now it's just you. Yeah, it probably was a little harder for you. But you never, to Amanda's point, said certain things to Amanda for her to know you were feeling a certain way. So that's what really irked me. And then I didn't like how she kept trying to make it seem like she wasn't in the media using Sierra as a pawn. And yeah, Sierra's my friend and I'm taking up for her. But it was so condescending to me for her to turn to Sierra and just be like, I really want a friendship with you. See, to me, what Lexi is doing is damage control. So she's trying to play it. She knows she played this whole thing wrong. She put all her eggs in Jesse Solomon's basket. Jesse Solomon cracked all of her eggs. It didn't work out. So now it's like, well, I have to cling on to something. And I didn't establish this relationship with these girls. So let me make it seem like Jesse stopped me from having a friendship with these girls, which the audience is smarter than you think. And we know that that's not necessarily the case. And now you're trying to do damage control like, Sierra, I really genuinely want a friendship with you. No, you were making remarks throughout.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, also, that was being playing into the low-hanging fruit of making Sierra look bad because that 100%. Is very easy to be done with a Black woman on reality TV.
Even her being like, I'm sorry that you were collateral damage. No, it wasn't like you were actively attacking me. I told you to keep my name out of your mouth. You then went on your next podcast and said, Sierra told me to keep her name out of her mouth, and then proceeded to talk about Sierra. It wasn't just a one-time thing where you talked about how they went to the lunch together on your birthday, which they didn't. And by the way, you could have just said Jesse didn't come, but instead you said two people didn't come and they were hanging out together, so that was on purpose. You're talking about two people. That's not just Jesse. And why the fuck would Jesse come to your birthday party after you broke up with him, after getting back together with him, and then with no warning, you break up with him again, and then you say it's his character and all these things, and Jesse tells you like that hurts his feelings, but like, okay, whatever, your choice. Why the fuck would he go to your birthday party? And then you're like, well, no, I just didn't want to make a new group chat. So then what was your point in bringing that up other than to also throw Sierra under the bus?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's like, you know what you're doing. You're trying to do damage control because it didn't work. That's the thing.
The other thing I'm thinking of is that he apparently, according to her, and I'm sure he did, talked about the West and Sierra of it all. So I'm like, did she think that she could become a new Sierra by being like, oh, he hurt me so much, da 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 da. The difference is we cared about Sierra before that happened. I am on record, though, that I still don't even think the West thing was that big of a deal. We should talk about the fuckboy scale with him, too. Very low for me. But regardless,
no,
you're not Sierra.
I don't agree with that. I think he played a certain situation. I think it is hard for me to remove when it comes to a generation that grew up on reality TV. It is hard for me to not think that everybody is a little bit calculated and aware of the possibilities when coming on these shows. So I'm not gonna remove fuckboy behavior.
No. I think he's a fuckboy. I'm saying his scale to me is still like what, a 5, 6? Like it's just Kyle's done worse. Which, by the way, why are they still married?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go that far to say why they're still married. I just think that...
You think they're happy?
No, I think that...
You think that they want the same things?
Now. I think that their communication... Yes, I do think they want the same things in life. I think that their communication is really off. And I think that Kyle and Amanda underestimated what it was going to be to start a business from scratch. Kyle started this business how long ago? Like, it takes years for this to happen. And Kyle underestimated the things that Amanda wanted. Like, he thought he could fully put himself into a business and that Amanda would make a house and a home for him. That's why I say that their communication is off. I think they both want the same things. I think that they didn't have the same outlook on how things were going to be.
I don't think they want the same things currently, like today. I don't think they want the same things. I don't think that they have the same timeline for when they eventually do want the same thing, they're not on the same timeline. I don't think that they communicate. It doesn't seem like they spend that much time with each other. So like, as of right now, watching them on that stage talk about their life, I was just like, they're not in a good place at all. And then the whole baby thing, her being like, I needed to be like, I want a baby with someone who is ready for a baby. You're not ready for a baby. And then later on, Lindsay was like, I do really appreciate Amanda talking about postpartum and wanting to be ready for that because it's a bitch and da-da-da. By the way, Lindsay's right. But then Kyle snuck in. Yeah, that's another reason why we're not. Kyle, what?
Yeah, I guess I was hoping that the way that they were talking was referencing last summer and not currently where they are now. Oh, you think they're in a better place? Because even Andy was like, you both seem to be happy. And they do. It seems like they hashed those things out last summer, and where they are right now, they've been very honest about what they are. And maybe I'm just being a little optimistic because I think that when they're good, they're good. But I think that they have to have some really hard... Yeah, I think they have to have some really hard conversations about who they are now versus like maybe who they are when they first got together and where they thought they would be in the moment. And it seems like they have worked it out because even Andy was like, well, do you both want kids? Because I think that was a question that I wondered. I'm like, do you both want kids? And so to hear them say, yes, we both want kids, it seems like, okay, they know that they want the same things. They just might not be in the place for it. So TBD when we watch this season, but
I will say that I agree with you also, like starting a business from scratch is not easy, and Kyle probably didn't fully understand what that was going to look like. At the same time,
and neither did Amanda.
There's plenty of people that start businesses and are able to eventually have kids.
But that depends what the partner wants. Like Amanda has been honest now that she wants to pursue her. You know, she just jumped in and was there where he needed her. He was like, you're great with art and design. And that's not really what she wanted to do. She just did that for him. So now she's being honest about what she wants. So I feel like things are balancing out more where they weren't always honest with each other. And now they seem to be in that place. But, you know, time will tell with this. Mm-hmm. I think they're fine. I think they're probably in one of the most honest spaces that they've ever been in their relationship, because Amanda's balanced out. She's been able to identify what was going on with her, and she seems to be in a better place. And because she is, I think she can communicate things better with Kyle, and I think he's accepting things the way that they are now. Just my observation.
I do not think they're in a good place.
Okay. We'll see.
I hope so. I want them to be good, just to be clear.
In a good place, you know, I really enjoy the maturity with Lindsay. Lindsay has, as so much said, she will not be returning back. She will not be returning to Summer House in the same capacity, which we expected. Full time. And, you know, do I believe she has said that she and her baby daddy have put their relationship on pause because they want different things when it comes to privacy versus what is public. It seems, I'm sure that's been a huge issue in their relationship to the point where they can't be together. But I appreciated the way that Lindsay communicated it. I don't believe her. I 100% believe that she wants this with Turner. I think that Turner is more of the like, no, I'm not doing this.
I agree with you on that. But I do also think that Lindsay isn't going to compromise her career for Turner.
Bag. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. I have a question for you. Do you think that any part of, like, even throughout the season and the reunion, do you think that any part of Lindsay is still hung up on Carl? I'm not saying she wants to be with him, but like she's just, I think it's so weird that she's not over it.
It is weird.
Okay.
I don't know how they were friends forever. They get in a relationship. They break up. They get in a relationship. They move in together. They're engaged. And then they break up. She's blindsided by the breakup. And and he does it in a public way. And she never had time to process it. You know, like I'm had a messy situation as well. And there are times where I'm like, have I fully processed things? Like, I'm over it, but have I healed personally? Okay. I would argue that Lindsay is not healed personally. I think she is over Carl. I think that the impact, but that's why it's like, if you saw me, I am over my ex. But if I was in the same vicinity with him, I promise you I'd be saying some crazy shit, right? Because the sight of you disgusts me. And so I think that Lindsay, but it shouldn't, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I'm fully healed. And
hold on. But big difference here. One, if your ex didn't come after your business and something that you've built, you probably would feel differently. If
he embarrassed her.
Sure, he embarrassed her online, but I'm saying what your ex did to you still affects you today.
Correct.
What Carl
financially, I don't want people to think I'm like still on them,
sorry. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What Carl did to Lindsay does not affect her anymore. And he was still paying half that fucking rent for a while. So financially, not at all. And as far as we've seen, I don't know if Carl could be a nicer ex. I don't know if he could be nicer.
I know.
So for her to still have this venom towards him, which I'm like, girl, you were not easy last summer. You came after his sobriety. Like, how is he still apologizing to you?
But that's what I'm saying. You're putting logic behind it. I don't think Lindsay healed from it, right? She doesn't want to be with Carl. I think she is not healed. She jumped into, you know how people used to be like, oh, the quickest way to get over a relationship is to get under one. I remember I was like, I don't want to do that. And I also like stopped drinking because I didn't want to drown my feelings in something else. I think Lindsay did the opposite of that. And Lindsay didn't heal with herself. She started talking to Turner. She gets pregnant by Turner. And then she gets caught up in the whole I'm having a baby, you know, glow and glory, which I totally understand. But has Lindsay taken the time to really understand how much that public breakup and how embarrassed she was from it and just the way it turned out? Remember, she took all her friends to the honeymoon or to the wedding or whatever. I just think Lindsay, we're watching an unhealed person. That's what that is.
I'm just like, also, like, you had a baby. Your life is so different. I'm sure she is, regardless whether it works with Turner or not. She's probably, it's from what we've seen anyways, so thankful that she has Gemma. She seems very in love with her. She seems very happy to have a baby. She really wanted to have a baby and was not on track due to her timeline. I'm saying her timeline to have that baby. So she got it. She got it with a very financially stable man. Could be way worse, let me point out. At what point are we moving on?
You're right. But that's what I'm saying.
I don't even understand how she has time to care.
Because even though she got the baby that she wanted, she also wants companion and partnership. I think it's embarrassing for her to have to say that she and Turner didn't work out. Because for a second you could have thought, wow, thank God this engagement ended. Lindsay seems to have it all now. Mm-mm. And she got the baby, but there's still things that she wants. And because she is unhealed in that department, she lashes out in illogical ways or in ways that make it seem like she still has a thing for Carl, which I don't. And you're so right about a nicer ex. Carl saying he wants a friendship with her. Like, it was cold-hearted for her to say, I'm not there yet.
I'm not there yet.
And it's
I was just like, girl.
That's when I was like, oh, she's unhealed. She's not healed. I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. Last thing about this reunion, and I really don't have much to say because I'm very Paige and Craig out. We get some answers to the Paige and Craig of it all. You know, there was something about it that I just wasn't into. I just, the way I'm not going to say
Speak
much.
on it.
All I'm going to say is we got answers to certain things, and all we found out is, as I'm very familiar with, and Andy said it, you just never know what's going on in somebody's relationship, and people can't expect you to out bad behavior or when you guys are having a fight or whatever it may be. She covered for Craig a lot. I fully understand that in having a public relationship. She covered for him. She was honest about certain rumors that had happened.
She covered for him and for what?
She covered for him. And what? What else?
She absolutely covered for him. Do I think, to me?
Oh, and for them. And for them.
And
is that what
for
you're
them.
Say? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were a power Bravo couple for sure.
Yes. I think that to completely separate what she did and be like, I only did that for his benefit. I'm like, that ain't true. You were in this couple. Yes, Craig was lying. Yes, Craig might be a pathological liar, unclear. But you were lying too. And for you to lie for all these years for him and for you all, and then act like I never wanted to do that. That didn't benefit me at all. I'm like, Paige, yes, it did. It was easier for you to lie for him. That's just what it was at the end of the day. And you can't say that that's not true because you also didn't want anyone in your group to talk about it. And that's why you got so mad at Danielle last reunion. I have a question though. Why the fuck do we care if Craig was drunk at a wedding? How many people get drunk at weddings? Like, if I kicked out every person that was belligerent at my wedding, we had 300 guests, we'd be
well, I mean, were they kicking
empty.
Tables? Were they belligerent as in they were wild and drunk and having fun, or were they kicking over tables and, obviously, cursing people out? There's levels, good belligerent and there's bad.
100%. 100% there's levels to belligerent. But like, I don't understand why that was such a huge deal. Like, you were drunk, you started acting crazy, we had to go home.
Well,
who cares?
If what you're saying is true, and I agree with you, you did it for you, but you also did it for them. The public perception of them being this perfect, idealistic Bravo couple is ruined by that, because it's not just Craig had a one-off. We watched Craig on Southern Charm. So the perception was also, wow, Craig is becoming a better person with Paige. And that wasn't the case. And it would have
at that time
pierced. Yeah, it would have, put a hole in that image. And I totally agree with you. And, again, having a public relationship, Paige is successful in her own right. But
100%.
But Paige's success is also based off of her popularity too. And you can't deny, and I really want to be careful when I say this because I don't want people to misinterpret it. I'm not saying Paige is successful because of her relationship. She's always been a fan favorite. She's funny. She's witty. Amanda saying this on the reunion, Paige said what she wanted to do and she's actually doing it. But having a relationship with a fellow Bravo member, of course, I really believe they liked each other, but keeping up that image of being this perfect couple, something that people aspire to. He's the Ken and you're the Barbie in a sense, also helped with, write-ups, not because I don't want to take away from her podcast and her fashion, all that, write-ups, brand deals, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's a real thing.
100%.
It elevated, and we saw her on 2 shows. We saw her on more than just Summer House.
Year round. We had Paige on our screens year round. I agree with you that being in a couple helped her become more popular. She was already popular, but it did boost her popularity, absolutely. I just don't think getting drunk at a wedding is that big of a deal. So even if Craig had been drunk at the wedding and did get kicked out, for me, it would have been like, oh my God, okay, and move on. Because we got it from Demois anyways, and it wasn't that big of a deal. So I think why is it so crazy that he lied about it? I'm just like, that is, to me,
you felt like he shouldn't have to lie about it.
No,
I think
it's not
that
they just had
deal. I think that they just.
Actual
I think she was embarrassed by it.
Get that drunk at their wedding.
You wouldn't be embarrassed. She was embarrassed by it, so that's why she wanted to hide it. And
I'm sure he was too. So I'm not putting that all on her. I'm sure he was embarrassed by it too. I just don't think it's that big of a deal, and they shouldn't have been that embarrassed by it. All you got to do is apologize and keep it moving.
Well, Paige has now announced that and I know we normally do news, but we might as well do this. We do news on Tuesdays, but we might as well do this now. Paige has announced, as everybody suspected, as was being leaked on Demois and any other site that covers Bravo that she was not coming back. So she's now said she wasn't coming back. She's thankful for the opportunity, grateful for the experience, the people, the fans, all that, NBC Uni, all those things. But she's moving on. She's pursuing other things. She says it won't be the last of her. So maybe there'll be another show in the works. Who knows? But curious as to as we end Summer House and they will start filming again in July, what will be the new dynamic with Summer House? It's also being reported that Lindsay will have a different role, which she already alluded to. It's being reported that Gabby's probably not coming back. I don't know about Lexi. I haven't seen that, but it's been reported
that that Gabby and Lexi will not be back.
Okay. So and we know Emerald's not coming back. So we get Kyle and Amanda, Sierra, Jesse, and West.
I think that's a great start.
How do you think things will be without Paige?
I hope that, and you would know better than me, but my hope, first off, I think she announced it at the reunion because Jesse said that something was announced for the future of some people on the cast, and he was surprised by it. So I think she did announce it at the reunion, and they just cut it out for us. So that's one. Two, I hope that Sierra without Paige will be amazing. I think we'll get a more fun Sierra. She will have to get out of the bed, especially since if she wants to stay on the show, she's going to know she's going to have to get out of the bed a little bit. I hope we see her hook up with someone or hook up with Wes a few times for fun. I hope we get the best version of Sierra and she becomes one of the stars of the show.
You know why I think we'll get that? Because in this reunion in part 1, she released a lot and she let people in on things that she's been holding on to. And I think people understood her at such a level, and I think at a different level. And I think that release will free her to be able to maybe open up a little bit more.
Loosen up a bit.
In other ways. But who knows when we have a new dynamic of people coming. We know they're interviewing new people. They got to be making the final decisions. We're in June. They start filming in a few weeks. So, I don't know. I might be in the Hamptons this summer.
Ooh.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I can. I'd be so
Okay, so here's my question.
Happy.
If I go to the Hamptons and I go, obviously, to a party, do I stay at the house? Or do I just go to the party?
Oh my gosh, wait. There is a guy, one of West's friends. First of all, Bravo, that's who you need to go to. You need to go to West and cast his friends for the guys. One, it's been proven that if guys come on the show that know each other, it does better, obviously, West and Jesse. Two, West lives a pretty fun life and has the most out of everyone on the cast, literally everyone on the cast, the most diverse group of friends. So he can bring in a person of color that isn't just a person of color cast, not the diversity hire. It will be someone who will actually be ingrained in the group, which I would love that. But he posted randomly on his, I don't even know how I saw this. He posted on his TikTok and people were like, wait, who is that guy? This is a white guy though. And he reposted just the guy and all the comments are please cast him. I'll send it to you. You're not gonna get the vibe. Do you think
that they should cast him?
I think they should cast him and another friend. So 2 of West's friends.
And that would be so great. And then Jesse gets jealous because West's friends are there. And he's ruins the bro code and the dynamic. I love it.
West in general is which we did not see this season at all. I hope we see it next season. He is fun. He's charming. His friends are partiers, fun. That's what we want Summer House to be. I think it would be horrible for Kyle and Amanda to have a fun group come in, but that's what I want. So I would have cast 2 of his friends, and then maybe Sierra has a friend. Maybe Amanda has a friend. Amanda seems to have a lot of hot friends based on everything we've seen throughout the seasons. But and then 2 or 3 hot girls. That's what I want. Make sure one of them's funny.
I'm not telling my friend that Natasha needs to go on the show. I don't know why Natasha doesn't do Summer House. She's friends with Sierra. No? She was such good TV on The Bachelor.
She's not fun partier. If I wanted to watch a show,
you haven't been out with Natasha. I
feel like Natasha is who you want to take to the Polo Lounge.
You get you a girl that can do both, because she can do both. She can do both. Well, we will see. I am intrigued at the shakeup. I would have normally been like, oh, if Lindsay's not there, it's a disaster. But Lindsay being pregnant, I think, is the best thing because it was a good segue into moving her out. It's the perfect way for her to transition out rather than just cutting her because she's been on for so long. It just makes sense. So I like it. Wait, I'm looking. Real time me watching The Friend.
So he posted a video of him, and in the video, he just randomly said type shit. Oh my God, that's your thing.
That's what the kids say. Type shit. That's what the kids say.
That should automatically get him in because Rachel obviously.
Because he speaks Gen Z language.
Because he said type shit. And let me just tell you, Rachel is not available, but when she is available, if you need a pickup line, that works on her.
Type shit. Oh, okay. That is it for us, you guys. We say goodbye to Summer House as we know it. It is the end of an era as Paige has announced she's leaving. And we know that there will be bigger change. Lindsay being with us since the very beginning. That's crazy to not see her there all the time. But excited for what is possibly to come. I've also seen rumors that maybe they do something else with people. I know we've talked about Jersey family vacation, but I've heard that maybe there could be something else. Who knows? But TBD on that. But you guys, we will be back next week recapping whatever's on Bravo. I want to put out there that I said I would not watch Next Gen NYC. But after seeing Ariana say that she gives Kim Zolciak money and Kim stole her money.
Oh, yeah.
Kim stole it. And Kim still asked her for money. And Kim still asked her. That coupled with that girl not washing her hands and Riley not wanting to touch her and her saying, the girl then saying, my body, my choice. I will be watching the first episode tonight and I'm fully on board to recap. That was enough for me.
I haven't finished watching it, but I started watching it and it was good. I liked it. I was shocked that Ariana shared that.
Yeah, she's trying to walk it back now.
She posted, not really. She posted and was just like, I love my family. Money will never come between me and my family. I've seen what money does and like how it divides family members. And I will not allow that to happen to me. But that was my truth. That is my truth. I'm not going to not be truthful.
Well, we shall see.
Kim and Chloe should be ashamed of themselves.
It didn't even shock me. It was shocking that she said it. And I thought, my God,
I agree.
If she's this bold to say these things in episode 1,
I would be that bold.
This is the kind of refreshing thing that I am. No, for sure. But she said it. She looks great. She said it. It was exactly what I needed to be entertained. And I will be watching. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, guys. That's it. Bye.